Good evening, everyone. You're very welcome along to the fourth round of the VRA Formula 3 Championship. We are live from Silverstone, a renowned circuit based in the UK, which hosted the very first F1 race in 1950. We're here for the fourth round of the VRA F3 Championship, as I said, and we are just in qualifying, coming to the end of it now. And we are just getting the final round of laps in at the moment. So it's currently Keith Dempsey fastest ahead of Jordan Kelly. Ahead of James Holman and Damien Harris, and Davey Yamamoto pops into third place in right there on a 152.2. We're seeing times in a 151s and 52s, and that's what we're going to be looking for today. For the fast driver, of course, we are going to have we're of course fighting for the championship. Charlie Eastwood, of course, involved in that battle. Keith Dempsey is the championship leader ahead of Charlie Eastwood, and then Peter Dempsey is in third in the championship standings. But we're getting in to the finals phase of qualifying at the moment. Times coming in right now, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be popping in to that pole position. But it's currently still our championship leader, Keith Dempsey, ahead of Jordan Kelly. James Holman now slotting into third on a good lap. Charlie Eastwood is fourth. Davey Yamamoto slotting into fifth, and Brian McManus slotting in 151.956. He slots into third place in qualifying. But James Holman doing very well there in fourth place. Charlie Eastwood is fifth. Yamamoto sixth. Damien Harris is seventh. Niall Murray eighth. Nicky Meredith, of course, is in ninth place. And Sergio Grabban currently sitting just inside that top 10. Kyle Stevens then. Alex Denning just outside in 12th place. And then further down, we have Johnny Adam with us again as well. Aston Martin factory driver, of course, great to have him back with us. Once again, we had a great outing in Road America, and great to see him back with us once again. Stefan Kelleher, Robert Barable, Owen Murray, Joseph Adafara, Jean Montero, Nathan Haley, Damon McMullen, and James Wingfield. A lot more drivers, of course, involved. But currently, with just about 2.5 minutes or 3.5 minutes left of qualifying, still Keith Dempsey, Jordan Kelly, Brian McManus, James Holman, and Charlie Eastwood, your top 5. So, as we were saying, Keith Dempsey, your championship leader at the moment, ahead of Charlie Eastwood, who managed to pit Peter Dempsey in the last race. So now he is in that second place in the championship. Peter Dempsey is in third place in the championship, doing very, very well there indeed. And let me just pull up and have a look, see who is slotting into the Gentleman's Championship. Of course, the Gentleman's Championship is unique to VRA. Jordan Kelly leading the Gentleman's Championship, and that is awarded to the driver who has the least incidents per lap average. So Jordan Kelly currently on an average of 0.16 incidents per lap. James Holman second, and Keith Dempsey third in that championship. And then the Forever Forward Championship, as it stands, Brad O'Neill's currently leading that championship at 72 on-track overtakes over the past 3 rounds. So that, of course, goes to the driver who makes up the most positions over the course of the season. So Brad O'Neill's leading that one. Olivier Van Herk second on 69 overtakes, and Jean Montero third on 62 overtakes. So all the guys doing a really, really good job there, and making their way through the field and enjoying their time while doing it. So we're just coming up to the end of qualifying very, very shortly as the drivers finish out their last laps. But currently still it is Keith Dempsey, your fastest man, out front and leading the standings at the moment. So doing a great job. And our championship leader, of course, by only a few points, not much, but he's doing a great job keeping himself up there and keeping himself consistently in that championship fight. So let's keep our eye on qualifying and how things are progressing. So we're just coming to the end now and getting close to our first race of the night. So it is currently still Keith Dempsey, Jordan Kelly, Brian McManus, James Holman, Charlie Eastwood. And qualifying, the checkered flag comes out for qualifying. Keith Dempsey will start on pole position. Of course, we have the heat race format with Jordan Kelly. And here we go, heat race 1 coming up now. So here is your heat race grid. We have got Ricardo Siamantis on pole position, Evan Walsh in second, third, Damien Harris in fourth, Max Hart lines up in fifth, Peter Dempsey is sixth, Brian McManus seventh, Simon Wall eighth, Shane Rabbit in 10th, James Holman will start in 9th for this one. So we're going to get underway very, very shortly for this one. And hopefully it's going to be a really, really good one. Further down, Kyle Stevens, Peter McCann, Davey Yamamoto, Alex Denning. And then we have Olivier Van Herk, Jordan Kelly, Johnny Allen down in 28th place. Then we have Jamie Moylan, Nathan Healy, Sergio Grabham, and all doing their best to get into the heat race at the moment. So, as you can see, drivers lined up on the grid for this one. Ricardo Siamantis will start on pole. Evan Walsh, P2 there, doing a good job. Damien McMullen, then Damien Harris, Max Hart, Peter Dempsey, Brian McManus, Simon Wall, James Holman, Shane Rabbit, Rob McGovern, Kyle Stevens 13, Peter McCann, David Yamamoto, Alex Denning, Olivier Van Herk, Jordan Kelly, Keith Dempsey, Tony Stack, Brad O'Neans, Dave Collier, James Wingfield, Gian Montero, and Barry Rabbit will start down the end as we now will get the lights in front of us for the start of this race for Heat Race 1 at Silverstone. And away we go for Heat Race 1. Looks to be a good start from all the top guys right here as we head towards turn number 1. All clean so far by the looks of things as they head through turn 1. It is Keith Dempsey from Brian McManus who managed to make his way up to second place. Jordan Kelly into third place. James Holman up to third place, makes some moving through there on Charlie Eastwood, doing a great job as they run through the next couple of corners right here. Keith Dempsey with a fantastic getaway, gets himself clear out front, three abreast as they went through there. There was contact further back between Jordan Kelly and two of the turn 3 motorsport cars, but a spinner, of course, as we saw in the background there, multiple cars involved, Ricardo Siamantis and a couple of other guys there. Johnny Adam looked like he was caught up in that one as well. But as they head through, it's still Keith Dempsey who leads this race. Got a brilliant getaway ahead of Brian McManus, Jordan Kelly. Some great fighting as they headed down towards Brooklands with Jordan Kelly trying to hold off Charlie Eastwood back there. So some great fighting throughout the field here as they run through here with Keith Dempsey, of course, getting that jump that he needed to do. And it was contact further back as well, just in Luffield. That looked like one of the turn 3 motorsports cars in the gravel. That was David Yamamoto off the road there. And Niall Murray making up some good positions there. Charlie Eastwood up to fourth. Jordan Kelly slots into third place. Brian McManus, brilliant getaway to second place as he chases after Keith Dempsey as they run down towards the hangar straight now and in towards the next couple of corners. It is still Keith Dempsey, our championship leader, still out front. Heat race 1, 7 laps or 16 minutes of racing. And it's going to be one hell of a fight as they head through here. And a couple of gaggle of cars going through as we head towards lap number 2, and we are in for a cracking heat race 1, and of course we have the final as well. That it's all about the points at the end, so let's keep our eye on proceedings as we head on to lap number 2. It is still Keith Dempsey, our leader, who continues to lead this race after a brilliant getaway off the line, and he is continuing to put in the laps, to put in the performances and keep himself up there at the moment. So how is Peter Dempsey, our other championship contender, getting on? He is further down the field. He's in behind Olivier Van Herk and slotting in behind the Belgian, who's currently second in that Forever Forward Championship. He's battling in with Nicky Meredith, who's involved in that one as well. So there's plenty going on in this race. Gaggle of cars involved in this fight as well as they head down towards the end, or the start of lap 2. They're heading down towards Brooklands and in towards this section, and they will continue on their way around this Silverstone circuit. So as we said, Keith Dempsey still in firm control of this race out front, but he's got Brian McManus for close company here as they head in down through Maggots and Beckett's, this wonderful section of corners. The S is through here. It's almost flat, just a slight lift as you come through the first part of Maggots, in through Beckett's and onto the hangar straight. Flat out here, no DRS in these Formula 3 cars as they head down towards this very, very brilliant corner, which of course is the prime overtaking opportunity for these guys. Heading through this right-hander, and Brian McManus trying his best to keep with Keith Dempsey here, but it's extreme pace from our championship leader as he continues to lap around this Silverstone circuit, and he's now slotting in behind. So Charlie Eastwood into third place. Jamie Moylan doing a good job there in fourth place, keeping himself in the fight as he battles away with Charlie Eastwood, who is of course again involved in that championship battle. So Jamie Moylan, of course, not long involved here, but there he is, latched onto the back of Charlie Eastwood. This is going to be a great battle between these two guys for the podium. So he's firmly in that slipstream, as you can see, running down towards the end of Brooklands right here. Can he slot himself in front as they head down towards this next sequence of corners? Can he get the car stopped? Can he get it up the inside? Not quite. Slots in behind Charlie for now, but he's gone a little bit wide from Charlie there. So can Jamie get himself up the inside right here as they run down towards the end of this next section, down in the slipstream through the flat iron right-hander? Can he get it underneath? He's firmly in that slipstream, running down towards. He pulls to the inside line. Can he get the car stopped on the brakes up the inside? Jamie Moylan takes third place away from Charlie Eastwood. Great move from him there, and he slots in ahead of Charlie, who's in that championship battle again, as we said. But this battle is not going to be over. He's going to slot himself right into this one, right underneath. Charlie will have the run down towards the end of the hanger straight. So can he keep himself in there? He needs to keep himself in this fight. Needs as much points as he can. All Keith is doing is extending his championship lead, don't forget. So coming down the hanger straight, here comes Charlie Eastwood in that slipstream again. Can he get this job done? As they continue to lap around here, can Charlie get the move done again? Not quite. He's not quite able to do it as they head in through towards the end of lap number 3, excuse me, of this 7-lap race here at Silverstone. But Jamie Moylan is up to third place, but it's still Keith Dempsey from Brian McManus, from Jamie Moylan, from Charlie Eastwood, and James Holman and Sergey Grabin having a fantastic run in 6th place. Shane Rabbits in 7th place. Robert Barble is 8th. So all these guys doing a fabulous job right here, up in the top 10. Niall Murray makes the move on Robert Barble for 8th place. And James Holman is also firmly in that battle between Charlie Eastwood and Jamie Moylan. So can James Holman slot himself inside into the top 4? Would be interesting to see if he can make this work. So they continue to lap. Keith Dempsey still setting a blistering pace out front, still hanging on to the race lead, which he has done from lap 1. And you can see Brian McManus just falling away a little bit here. Not quite able to keep at the pace of our leader, Keith Dempsey. But of course, Keith has been putting in the practice, putting in the hours. He is the championship leader, and he wants to keep a hold of that championship lead, if at all possible. So he continues around here on lap number 4. And he's doing a fantastic job out front, ahead of Brian McManus, who's just keeping himself steady in there with Jamie Moylan. He's lurking in the background, as you can see. He's not too far off. And just behind those guys, of course, you've got Jamie, and you've got Charlie Eastwood and James Holman, who are also slotting in to good positions here. So let's keep an eye on Jamie Moylan as he actually beginning to catch up to Brian McManus, just slowly but surely tipping away at the gap. And James Holman is firmly on the back of Charlie Eastwood in the background as well. That's going to be interesting to watch, to see if he can make this pass on Charlie. But James, very experienced racer in VRA, involved in that Gentleman's Championship, of course, keeping himself right in that fight with 0.22 of incidents. He's just not quite able to make it past Charlie there. He actually has made it past Charlie right there. So Charlie's now back down to 5th place, and James Holman slots into 4th place right here. So these guys continue to battle as we head through to the end of lap number 5. but it is now James Holman firmly into that 4th place. And he continues to lap around here, but Keith Dempsey still ahead and leading this race by quite some margin, extending his gap over Brian McManus. And everything going well for him out front as they continue around on lap number 5. Not too long to go in this race, and Keith Dempsey still leads out front ahead of Brian McManus. Jamie Moylan slotting in behind, and everybody doing their best to lap around here at this great pace around here. But Keith still building that gap, still keep himself firmly ahead of Brian McManus at this point. Good battle happening behind between Devi Yamamoto, Robert Barwell. Devi Yamamoto up to 9th place and doing a good job there. He's inside the top 10. But great job from Sergio Grabman, is lapping around in 6th place. Shane Rabbit up to 7th as well. Niall Murray always thereabouts inside the top 10. Peter McCann just outside there. Peter McCann started well down the field. He's made himself up some great positions right there. But Jamie Moylan, as you can see, 151.71 that last time around, and he's almost on the pace of Keith out front. So he's not doing a bad job, and he's catching up to Brian McManus just slowly but surely as they head on to lap number 6 of 7 in this heat race 1. But Keith's still firmly out front for now. We'll see if Jamie Moylan can get himself ahead of Brian McManus, because he's really not far off the back of him, but he is running out of laps to do it. As they head through here, he's almost latching onto the back of him, but again, running out of laps to do it in. But Keith coming around very, very shortly to begin the final lap of this race. And keep you updated on the Johnny Adam, our guest driver here today. He has just made a move on David Budrez for 13th place. Yes, he has. So he is up to 13th after being involved in that lap 1 incident we saw earlier on. But Keith Dempsey firmly in the lead as we head on to the final lap now here in Silverstone of Heat Race 1. And this is just going to extend his championship lead even more, which he is not going to be complaining about. With Jamie Moylan on for a podium in Heat Race 1 as well. Brian McManus, of course, fast starter as well, got himself up into that 2nd place. James Holman, great drive so far in 4th place, lapping around ahead of Charlie Eastwood. I would imagine there was probably some team orders switching around there. But Charlie is still quite a ways ahead of Peter Dempsey, who is 3rd in the championship. So he will gain points over him, but Keith is still going to extend that lead even more as they continue on the final lap here. And it's not going to be long before Keith makes his way and takes a heat race win once again. No stranger to winning here in VRA is Keith. He was always competitive in the GTE Pro Series and now the VRA F3 Championship, which is coming to a climax in 2 weeks' time with the final round. And always keep up to date here on Apex Racing TV for that as well. And do make sure to subscribe to the Digital Motorsports channel, because we are giving away a chance to win a drive in the Formula Simulator. So all you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel and you will get yourself potentially a drive in the brand new Formula Simulator, which is sitting just across from me here. Great prize, so make sure you get yourself subscribed, and of course subscribe to Apex Racing TV for all the live coverage. So Keith Dempsey coming through Maggots and Beckett's right now. Totally dominant display so far from Keith as he runs through here for the final time down the hanger straight. Quite a ways ahead of Brian McManus now, who is, I'd imagine, just trying to make sure that Jamie Moylan doesn't catch up to him in the final few couple of corners here, but he's got that gap ahead. He should be comfortably ahead. Coming through the final couple of corners now, Keith comes through down towards Vale, gets it on the brakes, gets it stopped, gets it turned in. Coming through the last couple of corners then, it is going to be Keith Dempsey to win here in Heat Race 1 here at Silverstone for the 4th round of the VRA F3 Championship. Brian McManus is going to come across in 2nd place. Then it's going to be Jamie Moylan. And then behind him, James Holman, followed by Charlie Eastwood, Sergey grab him. Niall Murray makes up a position to 7th place, just right at the end there. Just saw that one. Then Shane Rabbit will finish it, get a top 10 finish with Davey Yamamoto behind him in 9. Just keeping an eye on the screen here. Just saw Shane Rabbit manage to pip ahead of Niall Murray right at the end. Right, there's a great result. Shane Rabbit hops into 7th. Niall Murray 8th. Davey Yamamoto 9th. Peter McCann gets in front for a top 10 finish right at the end there, ahead of Robert Barrable, Rob McGovern. Then Johnny Adam will get 13th place. Joseph Adafaro 14th. David Budger is 15th. Nathan Healy 16th. Damien Harris 17th. Brandon Eanes 18th. Stephen Kelleher 19th. Tony Stack 20th. Nicky Meredith, Evan Walsh, Peter Dempsey has had a disastrous race, down in 23rd place. Barry Rabbit down in 24th, and Jordan Kelly, what a shame for him, started 2nd place and finishes last of the runners, of the 25 runners here in this heat race. So that brings an end to heat race 1, and it's not a bad result for Jamie Moylan. Gets a podium in heat race 1. James Holman 4th, Charlie Eastwood 5th, and that's going to hurt his championship chances for Keith, who has extended his lead even more in the title fight. And he's only got, of course, the final and the final round, so there's not much more left, and he's got a comfortable lead heading into these last few rounds coming up very, very shortly indeed. So we're going to have a 3-minute warm-up next to make sure the drivers keep their eye in. And then we're going to have the 14-lap feature race, which is going to be a spectacle to watch. But it's been a good showing from the drivers today. A little bit messy in turn 1, but we can always expect that here in Silverstone for the F3 cars. Of course, they're notorious for some very, very close racing, and it's always inevitable that you'll get a little bit of contact. So while we're in the warm-up, quick shout out, of course, as always, to our sponsors, Dan Ryan Truck Rental and BMO. Always appreciate the support from those guys, so kindly supporting our championship in the way that they do. So thank you very much, as always, to them. And now the drivers can get their eye back in, which is always a little bit tricky. It's always hard to calm the nerves after a race. It's you've got the adrenaline rushing from the previous heat race, and then you got to deal with calming the nerves down in the warm up. Get the adrenaline down again, get the heart rate down, calm yourself down, and then get yourself right back into the feature race, which of course is a longer race, and it's 14 laps. Now, of course, with the feature race, the top 10 from the heat race is swapped. So Keith will now be starting in 10th place, and I think now reverse grid pole with that last lap pass, I believe that should put Peter McCann on pole position, but we'll see in due course as the drivers make their way around. Silverstone Turn 3 Motorsport cars all together, so they're running in the slipstream of each other, just getting their eye in for probably some tactics later on, I would imagine. So Turn 3 Motorsport, of course, made up with Keith Dempsey, Charlie Eastwood, James Holman. We also had a couple of others in there as well. Peter Dempsey, of course, involved in Turn 3. It is the team with the most representatives here in the F3 Championship, but it's always good to have them, and they always put on a great spectacle for us. So, getting underway very, very shortly. You'll stay tuned to us for some great feature race action in about 15 seconds time when we'll be gridding up for this. And let's see how the drivers will cope with 14 laps, so double the heat race distance in this next sequence. Checker flag comes out on warm-up, so we'll be gridding up for the feature race of the VRA F3 Championship, and it's going to be a good one with the top 10 of the heat race inverted. So let's see how the grid will line up for this one. Going to be an interesting one nonetheless, with a couple of drivers. So as you can see, Peter McCann, as I suspected, is on reverse grid pole. Dave Yamamoto second, Niall Murray third, Shane Rabbit will start Grabban fifth, Charlie Eastwood sixth, James Holman seventh, Jamie Moreland eighth, Brian McManus ninth, Keith Dempsey, our winner from last, will start in 10th place. Then outside that, it will be Robert Barable outside there, and then we Rod McGovern starting in 12th place here, and of course we'll keep an eye on the grid further down. But great, this is going to be brilliant. We've got Peter McCann starting out there, Johnny Adam 13th on the grid, Joseph Odafaro 14th, David Budgers 15th, Nathan Healy 16th, Damien Harris 17th, Brandon Neens 18th. So let's see if he can keep the Forever Forward going. Stephen Kelleher, Tony Stack, Nicky Meredith, Evan Walsh, Peter Dempsey, and Barry Rabbit will round out your grid for this heat race, which is getting underway now as we get away. Good start from Peter McCann, but a great start from our winner last time out, from Keith Dempsey, who's all the way down in 10th place. He's right up the inside as they head towards turn one. Peter McCann leads as they run through turn one. Great start from him as we head towards turn one. David Yamamoto still holding on to second place as they run through turn number 2 here. So Peter McCann, great start. And the contact further back, I think that might have been Jamie Moylan involved in that one. As they head through, there was a car flying in the background, but looks like the top 6 have made it through all clean so far. But a great start from Keith Dempsey, who slots in ahead and now fighting away. There's a spinner in the background. One of the turn 3 motorsport cars is around in the background. Not quite sure who that was, but we've lost one of the cars back there. That was a big contact involved in right there. We'll try and see who that was. But Peter McCann is your leader at this early stage, and now fighting away with his teammate David Yamamoto. This is going to be fantastic. Niall Murray in 3rd place, Shane Rabbit now up to 4th place. So all these guys doing a great job. So now Peter McCann, I think David Yamamoto has overtaken him for that lead. So Peter McCann slots into 2nd place now. He runs out wide in that corner. So David Yamamoto is your new leader in this championship, in this race, excuse me. And that looks like James Holman is up to 3rd place. It's actually Niall Murray up to 3rd place. So doing a good job there as he slots through this sequence. Slots into 4th place. That would be Charlie Eastwood up to that place there. Excuse me, I'm getting it all wrong, but it's actually Keith Dempsey from 10th on the grid has made it all the way up to 3rd place in one single lap. That is absolutely phenomenal from our championship leader. But it is David Yamamoto who still leads this race, and Keith Dempsey with a brilliant move around the outside of Peter McCann slots into 2nd place. Is this man beatable at all? That was absolutely fabulous from him right there, and he slots into 2nd place. But David Yamamoto after lap 1 leads here in Silverstone, and behind him your man who started on 10th on this reverse grid pole was Keith Dempsey. He's now into 2nd place. Jamie Moreland fighting away with Shane Rabbit in the background. The 3 abreast going through that corner right there, and it looks like, let's see how they managed to solve that one. Looks like Jamie Moreland has made it through to 3rd place. That's a great move from him right there. So he slots into 3rd place, gets ahead of Peter McCann and Shane Rabbit, and in behind them of course is James Holman, who's just trying to find his way through there. But Jamie Moreland, brilliant move from him, and he slots into 3rd place. So it's almost back to square one with these guys. Jamie Moylan back to 3rd place, David Yamamoto into 1st place, but he is now being hounded by Keith Dempsey as they run down the back straight here on the old pit straight. So these guys fighting away here. Keith moves to the inside. Will he take the race lead? It's been a fabulous drive from Keith Dempsey if he can get ahead right here, and I think he's made it work. He slots ahead and takes the lead of this race from 10th on the grid. It took him just 1.5 laps to get him back into the lead. Fabulous driving from Keith Dempsey. It's just unbeatable. This is your championship leader, and he's a championship leader for a reason. David Yamamoto 2nd place, Charlie Eastwood up to 3rd place, and then Jamie Moylan is into 4th place now. So it's been fabulous stuff from Keith Dempsey. You just cannot beat this guy. Fantastic drive so far from him. So now it's going to be Shane Rabbit in 5th place. Peter McCann, after starting on pole, is now in 6th place. James Holman, Joseph Odafaro, Brad O'Neans and Niall Murray. Now your biggest mover in all of that was Kyle Stevens, who is up to 14th place, and he is 17 places up from where he started just a lap ago. So it's been good stuff from him so far. Let's see if he can continue that forward momentum. But we still have 14 laps to go in this one. And Jamie Moreland slots ahead. Looks like there's been a problem for somebody. It's actually Charlie Eastwood has taken second place from Jamie Moreland. So Charlie Eastwood is up to second place. And plenty of battling happening in the midfield, as we can see. But it is going to be contact between one of the cars further back that we just saw briefly there. That was Nicky Meredith getting punted around. Not quite sure who was by, but it was another one of the Turf 3 Motorsport cars. I believe it was Niall Murray punted them around. So not great from those guys' teammates coming together, but it has unfortunately transpired like that. But Jamie Moreland fighting away with Charlie Eastwood, having a great battle up there at the front, and they continue to lap around with Jamie Moreland fighting away with him. Keith Dempsey leads this race and continues to lap at a great pace. Let's see if he can continue to keep himself ahead. But Charlie Eastwood and Jamie Moreland, like I said, are having a fabulous fight out here. But Jamie Moreland looks like he's just ahead for now as they head through Maggots and Beckett's for the second time of asking. And let's see if he can get in the slipstream and get himself back ahead of Jamie Moreland right here as they head down towards the end of the hanger straight. See if he can make it work. There's plenty of fighting behind as well between Shane Rabb, who's having to hold back a gaggle of cars with James Holman. Joseph Odafaro has made some ground as well. There's plenty of fighting going on between all these guys as Shane Rabbit is trying his best to fend off James Holman. He's not going to get it on the brakes. Intervale, can he go around the outside here? It's going to be tricky. Not quite. Shane is holding that. He's trying to hold on to a top 10 finish for dear life right here. Through the final corner. James Holman firmly in the slipstream right here. And he's got Peter McCann for company. Nicky Meredith is just behind there as well. So here comes James. He's trying to go around the outside of turn one. Very tricky to make that one work. Not quite going to do it. Now going to look for the cutback through this next sequence. And trying his best to get himself ahead of Shane Rabbit up the inside through turn number 2. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can. Shane Rabbit trying to get the cutback through here. But I think it's going to be James Holman should be able to hold on to that one. One hell of a fight to get in front though. Shane Rabbit trying his best to come back at him, gets back ahead of him. And James Holman now going to try and get back through Brooklands on the outside in the slipstream. Can he make it work through here? Going to be very tricky to do so. Trying to hang around the outside of Shane Rabbit. We'll see if he can make it work. And it looks like he switched back to the inside for Luffield. He should be able to slot ahead through here. And yes, he does it. But now he's got another car for company. And Peter McCann, who's now slotted onto the back of them. And it's going to be very, very hard to keep himself in front. So now Peter McCann trying to slot him up the inside. Not quite going to be able to do it. So now he is ahead, running down towards the hanger strip. But Shane Rabb still firmly in the slipstream, trying to go around the outside of Maggots and Beckett's. That's really, really tricky to do. But he's now going to lose out to Peter McCann. He's going to try and come back at him through this sequence as well. So there's so much going on in this little fight right here. But James Holman builds a small gap. And now Peter McCann, here he comes on Shane Rabbit. He's firmly in the slipstream, just behind right here. And now Joseph Odafaro will try and get himself involved in this one as well. But can Peter McCann stall himself in front? Not quite sure if he's going to be able to do that, but he looks like he's still side by side through Vale. He's up the inside through the next sequence, and he should get that done. And yes, he does. But all that has brought Joseph Odafaro running really, really well there, right up into this fight. But he has got Niall Murray firmly on his back as well. So fantastic fight for what will be 4th place overall right now. So great stuff between all of these guys. And still fighting away is Shane Rabbit and Peter McCann as they run through turn 1. This is just never ending right here as Joseph Odafaro gets himself involved. Niall Murray's up the inside, Joseph Odafaro as well. It's now for the cut back down towards the end of Brooklands right here. Let's see who can get him up ahead. Joseph Odafaro slotting on the back right here. He's right in the fight right here, slotting on the back. He's managed to get himself past all of them. Now slotting on the back of Shane Rabbit down towards Brooklands. And ahead of Joseph, behind him is Niall Murray. Shane Rabbit trying to hold on for dear life as they run through Brooklands here, trying to hold on. See who comes out on top in this one. Out of Luffield they come. And it looks like Niall Murray's trying to get ahead. He slots back ahead of Joseph Odafaro, back down the end of the old pit straight. Let's see who's going to come out in front of this one. Niall Murray firmly in the slipstream behind Shane Rabbit. And the cork in the bottle in this one is Peter McCann. All this has allowed James Holman to build the gap ahead, and it's again brought in even more people. It's brought in Jordan Kelly into this one as well, who's trying to make up for a poor result last time. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars running through Maggots and Beckett's right here. And onto the hanger straight. Just see Jordan Kelly trying to make the move on Joseph Odafara behind, but as well as that, here comes Niall Murray on Shane Rabbit down towards the end of the hanger straight. Can he make it work? Trying his best. And in the background, you'll see Jordan Kelly up the inside of Joseph Odafara. He should get that one done as they run through here. Looks like Niall Murray's gone around the outside of Shane Rabbit and has made that one work. And he slots in ahead. And Jordan Kelly slots ahead of Joseph Odafara as well. And now he can try and get past Shane Rabbit right here. So now Niall Murray's next target is Peter McCann, who is holding up this entire train of cars right here. They've run down here. Now he's going to have to also watch out for some more cars who are trying to get himself involved in this battle as well. You just see in the background, you've got James Wingfield, Kyle Stevens and Nicky Meredith getting involved in this battle as well. So all this battling is allowing them to catch up as well. So this is what we call the slipstream train. It's just nobody can get anywhere, and you'll have constant moves all around the field. So now let's see if Joseph Odafara can get past Shane Rabbit. And now you'll see Niall Murray on the outside of Peter McCann down towards the end, down towards Brooklands. Can he get it around the outside? It's going to be really tricky to go around the outside of Shane Rabbit, but he's going to try it anyway, and Shane Rabbit is around. So there's obviously contact or something between those two. Shane Rabbit is now facing backwards in Brooklands. Gets the car going again, but unfortunate for him, drops down the field, but that will allow him to carry on. And Niall Murray now slots ahead of Peter McCann, and they continue to lap around right here. But this train continues as they run through Maggots and Beckett's. Peter McCann is definitely not done though, as he's firmly in the slipstream, coming up towards the end of lap number 6 onto lap 7. So we're almost halfway through this race, and we've had non-stop fighting for this 5th place. This will be in this race. So running down into Stowe Corner. Who's gonna make any moves? Anybody making any moves? Running through Stowe Corner. So now just Jordan Kelly now in this fight between himself and Niall Murray. And Joseph Odafara is trying to slot himself ahead of Peter McCann in the background. So Jordan Kelly making some great inroads after starting second in the heat race. He's now going to try and go around the outside of Niall Murray through turn 1. That is bravery at its finest, but I'm not quite sure if he's been able to make it work. As he runs through here, side by side, as they run through around the outside of this next sequence. Can he make it work? Very tricky to make it work. It's up the inside to the next part of the corner, and he should be able to slot ahead, but Niall Murray will have to slipstream, don't forget, down the next part of this, down the next part of the corner. So now here we go, firmly back in the slipstream. Can he make it work again on Jordan Kelly? It's going to be very tricky to go around the outside of Brooklands. It has been done before. The popular overtaking spot for all of these guys. So Jordan Kelly, can he hold off the charge of Niall Murray? Through Luffield they come once again. We're not going to be able to see that, but he looks like he's going to be able to hold on versus Niall Murray there. And whatever happened to Niall Murray, he has suddenly dropped off our screens and looks like he's been a victim of off track. So that has saved Jordan Kelly in a way, but that is unfortunately going to be Niall Murray out of the race, and probably has reached that instant limit that we talk about, 17x, and you are disqualified immediately from this race. So it is still, just to keep you updated on your race leader, it is still Keith Dempsey still firmly out in the lead of this race with a nice comfortable gap of 2 seconds over Jamie Moylan. Charlie Eastwood is 3rd, James Holman 4th, Jordan Kelly 5th, Joseph Odafara 6th, Peter McCann is 7th, Nicky Meredith 8th, Kyle Stevens in 9th place, Ricardo Simantas 10th, Shane Rabbit is now down to 11th after his spin, Evan Walsh 12th, Simon Wall, James Wingfield, Brad O'Neill's in 15th, Jean Montero 16th, and then Sergio Grabban in 17th. So now let's have a look here. Just the biggest mover overall is going to be Kyle Stevens, who is up 22 places from where he started, and he's right on the back of Nicky Meredith as well. So he's making some great inroads, is Kyle Stevens. So doing a great job down there in 8th place. 9th place, excuse me, just inside the top 10, so he's made some fantastic inroads. So, not a bad job at all. And Jordan Kelly as well, a quick mention as well, up 20 places from where he started. So, he started, of course, in pretty much last place in this feature race. So, he's done a fantastic effort to get himself all the way up here. So Peter McCann is embroiled in a fight here between himself, Ricardus Humantis, and Shane Rabbit. Shane Rabbit trying to make some inroads back on Peter McCann. Of course, Shane just spun after his potential coming together with Niall Murray. And of course, you've got Evan Walsh just lurking in the background there, trying to make himself back up to where he was. But Peter McCann, through Maggots and Beckett, he's firmly on the back of Ricardus Humantis here, who's desperately trying to hold on to this 9th place. Excuse me. This is the battle for the kind of tail end of the points. It's Peter McCann firmly in the slipstream right here. Not quite going to be able to do. He's going to slot to the inside. He's going to have a think about it. I don't think he's quite able to have that slipstream on Ricardus through there, so he hangs back for now. And Shane Rabbit is, of course, being helped along by that slipstream that Peter McCann is giving to him. So in through Vale, and holding on very nicely for now. Evan Walsh just starting to latch on as well, keeping himself nice and firmly in the tow and fighting for a top 10 finish in this race, and doing a fantastic job as well. Just behind them as well is Simon Wall and Brad O'Neans, who are also making up positions at this time as well. So let's just see if Peter is able to make a move on Ricardus. I think he's just a little bit too far back for the toe to work in his favour. It is very powerful in these cars, but he's got to be right up underneath the gearbox. And Ricardus looks like he's got the gap that he needs to keep himself in front of Peter McCann, and he does indeed. So back to our race leader. How is he getting on? Keith Dempsey completely in control out front, but at the moment is lapping still within. Let's have a look at the lap times, comparing himself to Jamie Moylan, they're lapping within about a 10th of a second of each other, so it's very, very close. Personal best for a couple of those guys that time around. Charlie Eastwood is right on the pace as well, so not far off, but he's got a comfortable 2.2 second lead over P2, and doing a fantastic job up front. So can he go 2 from 2 in the VRA F3 Championship? Can he get the heat race win and the feature race win, which would be a fantastic result for him, and would, barring a disaster from himself in the final round in 2 weeks' time, looks set to take the title in at the end. And of course, we got to award the Forever Ford and Gentleman's Championship at the same time as well, so there's plenty to keep our eye on. Gentleman's Championship and especially the Forever Ford Championship is a very closely fought championship at the moment. Brad O'Nean's leading that one, so it is still going to be we're still not going to know who's going to win the championship here, but it's going to be a healthy gain for Keith in the title race. And Charlie Eastwood is also going to extend his championship lead over Peter Dempsey, who is not having a good day today. Peter Dempsey is all the way down in 20th place. So Peter Dempsey, who is our currently third place man in the title race, is all the way down in 20th place. So he's not having a good day at all. Of course, it was a race winner earlier in the season, but just not happening for him today. Maybe not adapting to the Silverstone circuit as he would have liked. Maybe not having the practice time. But Peter Dempsey always likes to put on a show. It's a shame to see him so far down. So let's keep our eye on the midfield battles that we like to keep our eye on. All these guys were so close together in this race. We got a massive gaggle of cars. So Ricardus Humantis once again is a cork in a bottle. Who he's got Peter McCann, Shane Rabbit, Evan Walsh now latched onto the back of him as well. So it's gonna be brilliant. So now Kyle Stevens has managed to make his way through all those guys, and he continues to make up places. He's now up 24 places from where he started. So a fantastic drive from Kyle Stevens up to 7th place. So absolute props to him. Potential driver of the day nominee right there in Kyle Stevens. Brilliant job from him. But how is Peter McCann? Peter McCann is still trying to find a way past Ricardo Simantes. They're so evenly matched. Just keep our eye on this battle right here. They come through turn 1 and into turn 2. He's up the inside, thinks about a move right there. He's not far off, but he may have a good run down the back straight into Brooklands. And let's see if he can make it work. But again, if Ricardo looks like he just gets the drive off of that corner down towards Brooklands just to keep himself ahead of Peter McCann. But this is the beauty of these F3 cars, firmly in the slipstream. But again, once you're in the slipstream, you're also suffering from that dirty air, which is going to affect your turning and your aero, which also are a big part of this. And you just see in the background, Evan Walsh is latched onto Shane Rabbit as well. So that's going to be an interesting fight to watch at the same time as well. The two VRA racing cars involved in the same kind of battle right here, tail end of the points. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top of this one. This is Evan Walsh trying to get himself inside the top 10 and doing his best anyway. But we'll see. All this fighting is allowing the guys to get closer to the battle between McCann and Simantes. So again, has McCann got the exit from Chapel to get himself ahead down towards the end of the hangar straight? Evan Walsh is going to have a go on Shane Rabbit. Is he going to be able to make it work through Stowe Corner? He's going to have to go around the outside. And has he made it work? It's going to be very close to the run through Vale Corner. Not quite. As far as I can see, Shane just holds on around the outside. So, doing a really great fight here for 10th place. And points paying positions, of course, all very, very crucial for their position in the championship. But Shane Rabbit is holding on to that 10th place for dear life in that Jordan livery Benson and Hedges car versus that VRA racing car of Evan Walsh. Just going to keep our eye on this as they run through turn 2 and into turn 3. Evan needs the exit from this corner to have any chance into Brooklands. Down the back straight they come. Evan Walsh pulls out from the slipstream. Shane gives him the squeeze, but Evan Walsh has the inside line for Brooklands. Side by side as they run through towards the end of the straight through Brooklands. Can Evan Walsh get it stopped on the brakes? He's up the inside. Can he make it work? Shane's going to try and hang it around the outside. A little bit of a lock-up, and Evan Walsh spins into Brooklands, so he's lost it up the inside. A little bit of Shaver who loses it around the outside, and Shane Rabbit has managed to hold on to that 10th place. Evan will be kicking himself with that one. Just tried a little bit too hard around the outside. Lost the back end, and Shane Rabbit has now pretty much secured himself that 10th place, which will be a great finish for him. We are also coming to the end of this race, believe it or not. It's flown by. We are now about to start, lap 13 of 14. And Keith Dempsey begins that lap. So let's just go further down. Devi Yamamoto embroiled in a fight right here between Owen Murray, Tony Stack, who's now just got past in that battle as well. So Tony Stack is now going to be trying to get himself through on Devi Yamamoto, who looks like he's carrying potentially a little bit of damage. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, he's carrying front wing damage for sure on the front. He's been in the wall by the looks of things. Looks like he's struggling with the front end of that car. As they run up here, Tony Stack is surely going to fly by here in should be easy fashion. And he is up the inside through Stowe Corner right there. So just as we come to the end of this race, the nominations for driver of the day is, of course, our current race leader, Keith Dempsey, who has pretty much led every single lap of every race so far. Kyle Stevens, of course, who's up. Let's keep an eye on how many positions he's made up. He is made up currently 24 places. And of course, Jamie Moylan, who has driven a fantastic couple of races, got to be said. He's on for 2 podiums. He's on for a 3rd place and a 2nd place in such a competitive championship as the VRA F3 Championship. So it's fantastic drive from him. And not to mention as well, Jordan Kelly, who's made his way back up from 25th to 5th. So he's doing a good job right there. But nominations: Keith Dempsey, Kyle Stevens, and Jamie Moylan. As we approach the end of the feature race and a potential extension to the championship lead. Keith Dempsey is running through the last couple of corners now. He's getting slightly caught by Jamie Moylan, but it looks like he's going to have that gap under control as they run through. So Keith Dempsey begins the last lap here in Silverstone with Jamie Moylan not too far behind him. He's brought the gap down to about 2.3 seconds. Charlie Eastwood running around in 3rd place as well. James Holman on for another great result as well in 4th place. Jordan Kelly 5th. Nicky Meredith 6th. Kyle Stevens 7th. Ricardo Simantas has a good run as well, up to 8th place. Shane Rabbit and Braden Neans, I believe, has just slotted in to the top 10 as he just slots up the inside of Simon Wall by the looks of it. And he does indeed. So Braden Neans up to 10th place, and Simon Wall is very, very close to getting that Forever Forward Championship gain. He's up 21 places from where he began this race as well. So plenty of big gainers after a few instants, of course, for some people. But yeah, great job from Brad, of course, inside. And should also help him in the Forever Forward. But of course, we'll keep you updated after the race has finished and we get the points all tallied up. But let's go back to our front runner, Keith Dempsey, who's running through Maggots and Beckett's. Just a fabulous drive overall. Won the heat race in dominant fashion. Started on 10th place after the reverse grid and was leading after a lap and a half. Just fabulous driving from Keith, who is just see Jamie Moylan weaving down the straight. He's delighted as he runs down the end of the hanger straight through Stowe and in through Vale. Keith Dempsey, a totally, utterly dominant display, but a fabulous drive overall, and for sure the driver of the day. Coming through the ends and coming through the last corner, Keith Dempsey is the feature race winner here in VRA F3, wins in Silverstone and extends his championship lead. Jamie Moylan is 2nd, and Charlie Eastwood will come across in 3rd place. James Holman, great result, 4th place for him. Jordan Kelly up 20 positions, finishes in 5th place. Nicky Meredith in 6th, and Kyle Stevens, who started all the way down, 24 positions down, who's got Ricardo Simantas not far behind him. He comes through the last corner, and a fabulous drive from him as well. Kyle Stevens finishes in the top 10. Ricardo Simantas finishes in 8th place. And Shane Rabbit, great result, and a top 10 finish for him as well. 2 top 10 finishes for Shane Rabbit. And Braden Eanes, with a great end of a race there, finishes in 10th. Simon Wall 11th. Evan Walsh 12th. James Wingfield will finish in 13th. Tony Stack will finish in 14th, and Davey Yamamoto, Sergey Graben, Owen Murray, Jean Montero, and Peter Dempsey with a disaster of a feature race and a disaster of a day overall, finishes 19th. Rob McGovern, Damien Harris, Dave Collier, Peter McCann, unfortunately dropped out of the race. Joseph Odafaro out of this race, and Niall Murray, a non-finisher in this race. But a fabulous drive from Keith Dempsey, and he sees himself a mile in front, a country mile in front in the championship, and absolutely deserving of it as well. So I believe it would be, I think, a sin not to vote him driver of the day for the he put in. So he is the BMOP driver of the day. Congratulations to Keith, and I think that is where we're going to leave off proceedings for today. So next round is the final round of the championship, which will be coming up in 2 weeks' time. So it's going to be great to watch, and it's going to be a fabulous spectacle as well to see. We'll see who's going to claim the championships, who's going to claim the Drivers' Championship, who's going to claim the Gentlemen's Championship, and who's going to claim the Forever Forward Championship. So Keith Dempsey, as you can see, a massive 50 points. So he is a full score for today with 50 points in the feature and points for the heat race as well. Jamie Moylan 2nd, Charlie Eastwood 3rd, which will help him in just extend his second place in the championship. Jamie Moylan, we'll see how far he jumps up as well. But again, great drives from Kyle Stevens and Ricardo Siamantis, who got himself into 7th and 8th place overall in this race. So fabulous drive from all those guys. And as we said, we're going to round off proceedings here. So many thanks, of course, once again to our sponsors, BMO and Dan Ryan Truck Rental. Make sure to subscribe to the Digital Motorsports channel for a chance to win that Formula Simulator. And we'll, of course, announce the winner at the end of this week. And make sure to subscribe to the Apex Racing TV channel to catch all the action in 2 weeks' time. So many thanks, of course, to Rob and the team here in VRA. And many thanks to Samili, who's running the cameras so diligently behind the scenes. And we will see you all next in 2 weeks' time for the final round of the VRA F3 Championship. That's all from us tonight, and we'll see you next time. Good night.